Hello, it's me, and today we'll be looking at some vehicles like this and some related stuff. So honestly, more to do with like the mod sort of stuff to do with it. But I'm not making that firm. Right, there's one here. So yeah, this is sort of Jurassic Park vehicle, if you can tell. It is electric, which is cool. But one thing is this mod is actually featured in loads of YouTube videos, which, I mean, it's another idea for this series, which I'll have a playlist linked in the top right about now. Anyway, yeah, there's loads of sort of some of the YouTube videos with this vehicle, especially older ones. But that's not specifically what I'm here to say. It's just because this vehicle is actually a rather old mod, but recently it was updated, and I sort of found it crazy because I found it updated on the repo, when for a long time I've actually had this mod downloaded as a not repo mod, so what I guess like in the mods folder, mods, but not the repo. Yeah, something you can see. And I will be showing you some stuff later, probably sort of overlaid on the screen, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's surprisingly quick. This is also a version sort of with custom headlights, and you can tell it has been updated because it's got the new procedural headlight sort of stuff, which is new. Yeah, it's quite quick. Yeah, probably do this here. Oh, apparently that fence sensor. That's cool. Oh, I didn't think that tree had collision. Okay. Yeah, it's not a good place to be. Hey, look, at least. Okay, that light shouldn't really work still. Right. So anyway, one thing I do particularly like about it is this glass bit on top. And I've never actually used this mod before in a video particularly. I might have in a random, one where I've used a randomizer at some point. Or also, you see the navigation unit here. It is called the Beam Navigator. But the thing is, there's one of these available for like every car in the game. And I did have a look at it, and now if you put it in a car, you don't actually see it. I think it's in the same slot as like the standard navigation unit, is what I mean. But there you go. You can see it does great, and it's also come off a bit crash. Yeah. So I might have ended up having that in some random car at some point in one of the random videos. However, you can't actually see it now. Interesting. The shifter moves. Anyway, yeah, you don't actually see it now. Oh, it must. Maybe it's the ignition thing because it's technically electric and it's a bit confused that there's no RPMs and stuff. Anyway, you don't actually see it in cars now, but in this, it's, I think, more to do with this, or it might just be it's a little bit broken currently because it's supposed. Well, there's obviously that navigation unit there, which isn't normally there in the Rover. I'm like pretty sure because it's old. I think the H series does have one, but it's definitely not this big actually. So yeah, but it's in the other cars. What I imagine it would be available as is like, well, if I do remember, I have seen it before when I was testing the mod or looking at it a long time ago, and before I got the updated version, and it was just like the normal one, I think, but maybe some different styling, so it's just stuck on the windscreen. Yeah, and I think it was sort of basically just like the normal, but it's available for every vehicle because it's a common part. So I might have ended up using that at some point, and maybe some other stuff like the license plates. And I don't know if I've done that. Used the Roma in one of the random videos at some point before. But yeah, and I guess one other thing is I can actually show you the old files. That's what I am going to do out now because it's quite interesting. Oh gosh. And I guess I will have a link to one of the random videos at some point. I don't think the ABS works, by the way. I don't know why it just doesn't work. I will have a link to one of the other random videos about now on the screen. So, actually, I guess I can show you. I mean, you're going to lose gaming audio a little bit here, but it's just some dirt sounds. So, if this is going to be on the screen in some way. I think it'll just be the main thing in screen. I'll have Beam in the background and this on the screen. So if I show it to you, this is the file, and it's it's 7th of the 10th, 2022, which is by no means my most recently downloaded mod, by no means. But also it's interesting because I can move the file. Ooh, well, that's interesting. Oh. You know, I was aiming for the house, apparently not. Apparently the poles was that. There's like nothing left on this, that is slightly crazy. Oh my gosh. Anyway, uh, so, yeah, if I move this to to my mods folder, which won't affect anything in the game currently, then the date changes, 9th of the 8th, 2023, which is weird. And I can also show you now, there's a lot of others that have a date of 9th of the 8th, 2023. Why? Well, this is the mods, like downloaded mods, not repo folder I was talking about earlier. So if we look up here, actually I'll do it in reverse date order. So in the mods folder, you can see that there's quite a lot. I think probably something like AN12, which is the Antonov plane, which is also used a lot in videos because it's a rather old but also rather good plane mod. In fact, I have used it in a video. You've not seen it yet though. Anyway, so that is that mod. These are just some of my mods here, but they aren't actually the oldest ones. So I can also show you, there was this one I was going to use, Crash Junction. It's a scenario pack that I really like. It did work when I originally used it, and then I was gonna try again at some point, somewhat more recently, to use it, and I realized it didn't work. I tried to fix it a bit, and I eventually gave up and couldn't get it to work. Because to be fair, it's the old scenario format, and I think probably some other stuff has changed as well. I mean, I guess that'll be why. Yeah, I can't use it sadly. But I was gonna film a video and just sort of all that. Maybe even like, well, I guess series of all them, because I remember seeing YBR's video on it, and I thought he spent like loads of time on each one. But when you look at them, they all have like just sort of a couple of attempts at each one, and I thought there was way more. I can do the window sort of thing. Yeah, it's maybe not the best safety. It does have like fully modeled like motors and stuff though, which is cool. So yeah, that's the scenario pack that I can't use sadly. And in my repo, I can show you some of my old mods here. There you go. And here they are. So I'm pretty sure those first two are going to be the first day I played BeamNG. From what I remember, I think I got BeamNG on the 25th or maybe the 26th. But then I went somewhere else for a few days, and I think I left my computer on for BeamNG to download because bad internet. And so anyway, I came back and it was downloaded, and I'm pretty sure I probably would have installed those mods on the first day. So Brutal Sleep, you can tell what that is. Flatbus is the it's like it's one of the old yellow buses. Well, no, old mods for a yellow bus. It's the one that's it's just like got a flat nose at the front. Because there's another one. I think the Bluebird bus is the other one, and that doesn't have a flat nose. Funnily enough. And then I've got some other old ones here. Where does it really go then? I don't think these trees have collision in there, but I keep on not expecting the trees to have collision, and they do. So yeah, that's a lot of damage again. I do like how the motor can fall out. I don't know if it's technically not broken. Yeah, it's technically not broken. Have there anything for the wheel system? But hey, look, they're funny at least. They do work. See, I've got some other old mods in here, like the ETK6000. Some of these are on the first page of. In fact, I can show you in Beam. Some of these are in the first page here. When you sort by downloads, some of them are in the first page here. So I remember some of these, most of these have been here for a while. That's one of the other popular planes. But this pack hasn't always been here, and Polish Roads hasn't always been here. But the other ones have always been here, basically, as far as I can remember. Some of like alternatives downloaded, sorry. Like I've knew a different version of this, for instance, and that sort of thing. These are some big maps, like good maps. That's all. I think they work still. I think all the ones. Wait. Yeah, I think all the ones here do work at least mostly. Polish Roads was broken for a bit, but it's very much fixed now. It's good. So in here, I can actually show you the view off. You can see the map along currently as well. Because funnily enough, when I was trying to remember what the file name was, I was like, I know it was by Pinto. I was like George Pinto, and I thought Ford Pinto, which not good. But this is actually like I could believe that this was almost a modern day BeamNG image. This specific one, even though all these images are of the older versions, because it just looks like quite realistic. I guess it's in one of the crash halls, or maybe even one of the original, what's it called, showroom maps. Actually, that's possible. Well, I say original, older ones. So yeah, you can like and subscribe if you wish, and yeah, like some other, like you can see also in the mods folders like the ETK6000 series, which is another old mod that's good. And I'm gonna have to go and resort all my folders to take them back in alphabetical order. That's sort of how I prefer it. Like I don't always use it like that, but I prefer it like that generally. The glass didn't break in that one, it just fell out. This is another cool one in that I think the toe grab character as well. It's got like the parcel shelf that you can remove. I've not actually grabbed the parcel shelf there, but basically the parcel shelf can move about back there, which I always think it's cool because, yeah. And if you look at this in the vehicle selector, there's one that's like basically the same, but it's got different lights in it, but it's actually just the facelift lights that are in the default theme. And the other main difference is that it doesn't have trim on either. It doesn't have trim on these bits here, which I thought was interesting for the facelift. It also has an interesting steering wheel. I didn't think it was supposed to be like that, but as I look at it, I am getting more convinced that it is supposed to be that. EV car. So, yeah, it's probably going to be almost the end of this video. And yeah, it drives stuff. Electric vehicles are good like that. So yeah, I'm just saying this as the end. I might put some other stuff in, funny stuff, because now I'm gonna have to edit this video anyway to put in the the extra stuff on top. So yeah, that's gonna be it, and goodbye.